And welcome back. Now, the Witkoppen-Clinic in Johannesburg has recently started their rollout of HIV self-testing kits in light of the commemoration of World AIDS Day on the 1st of December. Now, this self-testing kit enables people to take the HIV test at home, and it takes 15 minutes to determine the results. The non-profit clinic says the rollout was done in a bid to encourage people to know their status and start treatment. And joining us now to discuss this is Dr Heather Dansey from the Witkoppen-Clinic. Dr Heather, thanks so much for coming through this morning.
Oh, thank you very much for having me.
So this is quite interesting, because the minute I saw it and, listened to self-testing at home with this little kit, it kind of reminded me of this pregnancy test that you get to do yourself at home. Is it a similar sort of concept?
It is a similar sort of concept, and in fact you read it the same way. I've actually brought a kit with me. It's a demonstration kit, which it hasn't been used, but it has been opened, so we can't use it here. But I would like to show you how it can actually be used.
Please do.
So this is what you would be given. It would be sealed. I have opened it already. It would be a sealed package like this. Inside the package are instructions for use in 4 different languages. They're very self-explanatory and they're very easy to follow. Then you open up the next part of the kit, which consists of a swab, and the other part that exists here is the test tube, which sits in a little cover like this, which is filled with a liquid. It's normally filled with a liquid. So this is an oral kit. There are 2 types of kits that are available. There's a blood kit and an oral kit. This is an oral kit that measures actually the oral secretions. So you take the swab here. This is for the swabbing, and you swab your gums. You swab inside your mouth, your upper lip. Then you swab your gums, your upper gum, and then your lower gum. Then you take this once you've swabbed it, and you open this up, and you actually put it into this here like this, and then you wait 15 to 20 minutes, and you read the result, which is very much like what you said, the pregnancy test, because it's going to have the 2 lines. But it's explained very, very clearly in the instructions, and it's very easy to use. There are huge advantages with this. You can use it in your own home. You can use it in a private space. So it's not clinic-based or facility-based or with the healthcare provider. You also do it yourself. So you're not relying on somebody else to do it for you, and nobody else needs to see the result. I mean, that's the whole issue of confidentiality, that you see your own result and you read your own result. You do it in your own time. So if you're doing shift work or you work long hours and you can't get to a facility, you can actually do this in your own time. And the other advantage is the results are immediate. You don't have to go back to get your results. You will get the result within 15 to 20 minutes.
And how reliable are those results?
It's as reliable as the current rapid tests that are being used at all the facilities.
And what's the...
It's about 99% reliable.
99%
It's on a par with current tests that are currently being used.
What about the counselling element? Because we've always been told it's so important, for people to be counselled so that they are not really, taken and thrown off guard if the result comes back negative.
Well, I think the counselling element has actually been taken away, because this is you doing it yourself. So there are pamphlets that are available that do accompany the self-test kit on counselling, but they're to be read by yourself. It's really trying to empower people to take health into their own hands and to know their status for themselves. And as I said, it's a bit like the pregnancy test. So the counselling will come in if your test is positive. Now, if the test is positive, you must go to a healthcare facility or a trained healthcare professional to have a confirmatory test. This test is not a definitive diagnostic test. It is a screening test. So if this result is positive, you then have to go to a facility or somewhere else with a trained professional who will do a confirmatory test, and then that whole counselling will come into play at that stage. And at the same time, if, for example, you're anxious or you're concerned about the results, there's always the AIDS hotline, which is open 365 days of the year, 24 hours of the day, that you can phone and ask for help.
So how accessible is this? Where can people get hold of it?
It is available at the pharmacies. The price, it depends on which pharmacy you go to, on which kit you choose. and it seems to range from 70 Rand to about 180 Rand. We are offering at Witkoppen free at the moment as part of the STAR initiative.
And so people can come to your facility,
Yes,
and
yes,
they can
it's
request
free.
the kit and take it away, go home.
At the moment we're doing clinic, they're actually testing on site at the facility. They're doing it on their own in a little zozo, a little sort of area on their own.
But why?
But they
Why
are
aren't
not.
you
They are
allowing
not.
people to take
at the
it
moment,
home?
the STAR initiative is not allowing it to go home to the actual homes.
Why not?
To be tested. I'm not. There are a number of reasons, because they're still collecting data on this self-testing kit itself. So that at the moment they are just doing facility-based or with a healthcare professional somewhere in the area nearby. But I think, if you go to the chemist, you can obviously take it home. But this particular initiative is not.
So just looking at this and some of the advances that have been made, and this is another one of them. Last week we had a conversation with someone talking about stigma in the workplace, etc. Is that's something that we still are dealing with effectively, though? Are we making sort of inroads in that regard?
I think stigma still is there and discrimination is still there, but I do think we are making inroads. I really do. More and more people are knowing their status, and people have a far greater knowledge of HIV and the treatment that's now available.
But knowing their status is one thing. Are they actually, taking the treatment as prescribed, given the stigma that still exists?
Well, at the moment, we have all the people that we test positive are immediately linked to care and put onto ART immediately. And we follow them up to check that everything's going all right. And we do actually follow them up for quite a while. We are not having that many problems in that regard.
So just for people who might be interested, who want to come around to your facility, who maybe can't afford to buy this from a pharmacy, where exactly are you located?
The facility is to the north of Johannesburg. It's north of Four Ways. It's on the William Nicol Drive. It's right next to Witkoppen School. It's been there since 1946. It's a well-established, well-known facility for the area. It is an NPO. It is not a government clinic, but we do get a subsidy from the National Department of Health.
And anyone is welcome?
Anyone is welcome. Anyone. We do not ask where you're from. We see everybody.
Well, Dr. Heather, thank you so much. This is very, very exciting.
It is exciting. It really is. For me, it's one of the most exciting things I've been involved with, because it has been so well received, and especially by men.
And also it's about empowerment, because empowering people.
Empowering people to know their status and to look after themselves and look after their own health.
Absolutely. So thank you so much to Dr. Heather Dansey from the Witkoppen-Clinic for talking to us about this new self-testing kit, HIV self-testing kit that has now come onto the market. And this is where you can actually take that, do the swab, the oral swab in your mouth, put it into that little tube, and then just like a pregnancy test almost, you can then within 20 minutes have the result. And you will then know what to do with that. Either, as Dr. Heather said, you go and you have that result confirmed, and at that point you will be receiving counseling as well.
And linkage to care.
Well, Dr. Heather, thank you so much. And of course, if you want more information, give us a shout here at Morning Live, and we'll try and point you in the right direction. Right now, we're going to take a break.